Hi everyone, welcome back to Off-Grid Farming UK. My name's Rob and today I'm going to talk about some of the drainage challenges we have here on the farm. So I've been coming to the farm since around October, November, and obviously one of the wettest periods of the year. So I've seen some of the challenges that they face here, and I've been involved in a few of the drainage projects. So I will show you, this is a big 20-acre field, and as you can see by the water in front of me, it's quite wet. So these three fields at the front of the farm had been ploughed, they'd had peas and I think they'd had some wheat in them, and they were reploughed and had this grass mix laid last summer. But as you can see, with the years of ploughing and everything, it's messed up the soil structure quite badly, and with there being a lot of clay in the soil as well, there's just water everywhere. We've dug a few test pits, and basically 3 or 4 inches under the soil it's bone dry. There's just the clay just sort of washes over when there's rain, and it just caps the soil surface, and all the water just sits on the surface. Whereas if you can get the water to go even a few inches down, it will drain away quite freely. And just when it rains, all the water comes pouring down these hills from each side, it settles in a low spot, and it runs all the way along. And then when there's too much, it runs across the track into that field there, and as that's where all of our bales come from, it can make it a really wet, horrible mess when we're trying to get bales out for the cows. There's also patches, which you'll see in a later part of the video, where some of the grass species are not wet tolerant at all. They obviously prefer much drier ground, and actually that one particular species has died off in quite large patches, so it's all gone black and mouldy and slimy, which isn't great for the rest of the pasture. So going to have a little walk through the low spot and up to another place where we've done some drainage work to stop water coming in off another piece of land. So let's go. We are now the far side of the farm from where we were before, and you can see way over there is that track, and yeah, here you can see one of our big drainage problems. So the track in front of me runs all the way from the main road over there all the way down the side of this woodland, which we don't own. And what happens when we get lots and lots of rain is that the woodlands fill up with water, this field fills up with water, and there's nowhere for that water to go. So what was happening is it was running all the way down the track, running down to about here, and right here, none of this that you see in front of you was here, and it would run, the water would overflow from the track down the field, down into that low spot, and all the way along. And when it was heavily raining, you could see it. You could literally follow the water running down. So what we've done here is, hopefully you can see, is we have tapped into a 9-inch drain. So the previous, or one of the previous farm owners spent quite a bit of money laying in a big 9-inch concrete drain that goes from down there where the sheep are up along through the field and somewhere over there. We don't quite know where it ends yet. So what we wanted to do was tap into that 9-inch drain, and you can see here where that boulder is, just there. That's where the 9-inch drain is, and we dug this trench all the way along here to that 9-inch drain, and we put in this big 6-inch black drainage pipe. We haven't finished backfilling it yet because we may want to extend this 6-inch pipe as far as it will go, because if you can see there where the docks and the scrubby bits are sticking out, that's an incredibly wet patch. We think there's more water sort of welling up there, so we may extend this pipe as we have it here up the side of the track and just into that wet spot there to try and drain it. And yeah, this was a day's hard work. we used the digger and the tractor, and we backfilled the hole as best we could. But you can see now there's no real standing water here, which is really nice. There's little bits where it can't quite get down into the drain, but every big rain event we've had since we did it, the vast majority of the water is going into this drain. And even though it is still very wet where I started the video down the bottom of the hill, that's only what's come off the surface of the field. It's not coming from the woods or down the track. So it has relieved quite a bit of the pressure. And actually the first ever film I did with this camera just before Christmas, or it might have been between Christmas and New Year, is the footage of us down in that drainage ditch at the bottom, finding the 9-inch pipe and digging out some depth to that stream, because the water level in the stream was actually higher than the bottom of the pipe, so the pipe itself was actually backing up with silt and water. And we'll pop down there in a second and hopefully we'll see it running and running clear, because the big rain events we've had since we did that work have really washed all the silt and rubble out of the bottom of that pipe. So it has been running really well, which is great. So again, you know, there's a bit of expense here. This pipe isn't cheap. Diesel for the digger and the tractor, you know, it all costs money, but it has made a massive difference. If I'd shown you that track when we were doing the work, there was literally water, inches of water running across that track into that other field, and that's now stopped. You know, it's just puddling this side of the track now. So has been successful to a point. You know, we'd much rather use planting and land management to help trap water in the soil rather than digging expensive drains. But as we know that the work to the land will take time, and having the standing water in the field is actually affecting the growth of the plants and stopping us from improving the quality of the soil through pasture management, it made sense to put a bit of money into just alleviating that problem enough so that we can now use planting and animals and grasses and things to finish off the job for us, and hopefully create a really nice 20-acre field without massive puddles in it. So I'm going to head down to the ditch to see how that big 9-inch pipe is doing. So this section of track here is one which still backs up, and this is basically what that entire length of track looked like. This is what it was like all the way up to the main road. Just huge amounts of water trapped in the track, and then when it rains it was all overpouring into the fields. And you can see here just where the edges is beaten down, you can see when it rains all of this water overflows here and flows onto the grass, and then it goes down there across that shallow point right back to those puddles we started at. So yeah, we'll come back and fix this at some point. Hey sheep, how you doing? These sheep are incredibly used to people, and they're herded with dogs. So as soon as the farm dog appears or my dog Tia appears, they run into a nice tight little group and get ready to run. And so here is where I am going to patch in a video of us doing all the drainage work. So this section of the stream was originally built as a watering hole for cattle. So you can see this lovely sandstone and concrete wall here. This channel is actually concrete. So a farmer at some point in the past concreted in this channel, and this here, where my boot is actually a solid concrete edge, and they concreted in a slope up here to allow the cattle to come down and drink directly from the stream. That's no longer considered best practice. We try and keep the cattle out of the stream now. So what we're doing is reconfiguring the bank, bringing in a load of rock and mud to fill in the slope to stop there being access to the stream, and then we're going to dig out the bottom where Magnus is standing, and hopefully we'll have a nice fast deep flowing stream. The drain will work and drain the field, and then the cattle won't be able to get into this stream at all. So the mission for today is to try and clear this 9-inch pipe which runs up the field and drains a 20-acre field, but unfortunately the stream level has risen and the water's actually backing up the drainage pipe. So we are clearing lower down the stream to let the water flow away quicker with the digger, as you can see, and then we're going to work our way back down here and dig out all of this stone that you can see down here, because at the moment the level of the stream, the bottom of the stream bed, is actually higher than the level of the drainage pipe. So as Dan works his way back down the bank, then we're gonna hopefully see the water flowing away from us faster and faster, and we can dig out this and have the field drain properly. And as I say in that video, this area had actually been gradually sloped down and a concrete base put in to act as a drinking point, because back in the day farmers would always just water their animals straight from a stream. That's not such a good idea nowadays. It's pretty much frowned upon. So we dug out all the concrete and backfilled it, made some steeper banks to stop the animals going down there and improve the flow on this drain. So I'm going to go down, try not to break a leg. Oh, look at this. That is great to see. So this is the 9-inch pipe that we tied into up on that field, and there is lovely clear water coming out of it, and there's no mud. There was about 1 inch or 2 of mud built up in the bottom of that pipe, and it's now gone. So this lovely babbling brook is free flowing, the drain is free flowing, and that's about as good a result as we can ask for. And this is the little stream that goes all the way down there, and you'll see in one of the other clips where we've done the drainage work around the gate, and I talk very briefly about our plans for some hydro, because we don't have any head, we don't have any great height drops on the farm, but there is a fair bit of flow, and there's more drains that come into this stream as it heads down across the farm. So the flow increases and increases, and yeah, where we did that drainage work and it goes through the culvert pipe, there's a really good bit of flow there. It's really quite powerful. It's enough to push you away if you try and put your foot or hand in the flow. So I have a lovely woolly audience. Hey sheeps. Hey yeah, they are not bothered at all, but they are very curious. So yeah, this little bit of drainage has made a massive difference to the state of that field, and as we want to be doing mob grazing in there in the spring, really happy that at least we've solved some of the water problem, and the remaining puddles and everything there we will tackle hopefully with some planting, maybe some subsoiling, but yeah, overall quite happy with this little project. This bit tied in with the bit over by the gates, and tied in with another short bit that I'll film at another time, has made a really big difference to the water on the farm. Still not great, but with all the clay in the soil that we have, you know, literally any moisture, and it caps the surface and it stops the water getting down into the soil. So quite a bit of our focus for this year is trying to improve the soil quality, get lots of carbon into the soil, get lots of soil life and worms and bugs into the soil, so that it free drains naturally and that clay doesn't have such a big impact on it. But yeah, I hope you enjoy all of the little clips that I'm going to patch in of us digging out this stream. Hope it's interesting. It's been really interesting for me. I'd never done any drainage or anything before I came to the farm, and we've done 3 fairly chunky drainage projects since I came here, each one being sort of 2 or 3 days work for a couple of people and a couple of machines. So yeah, I do hope you like it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and especially tell your friends, share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, let everyone know that there's some idiot up in Scotland trying to learn how to be a farmer. Alright, see you soon, bye.